Good evening. We start with breaking news out of Queen's Park tonight, and it comes from the Ontario Tory leader Patrick Brown. He held an hastily organized news conference to deny allegations of sexual misconduct. Here's what he had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, a couple hours ago, I learned about troubling allegations about my conduct and character, and I'm here tonight to address them. First, I want to say these allegations are false, categorically untrue, every one of them. I will defend myself as hard as I can with all means at my disposal. It's never okay for anyone to feel they've been a victim of sexual harassment or feel threatened in any way. Let me make this clear. A safe and respectful society is what we expect and deserve. And no one appreciates that more than I do. I've got two younger sisters who are my best friends. I've grown up in a family that has taught me good values. My values and beliefs are those that we need to move forward to eradicate sexual violence and harassment across the province, across the country, everywhere. I know the court of public opinion moves fast. I've instructed my attorneys to ensure that these allegations are addressed where they should be in the court of law. In short, I reject these accusations in the strongest possible terms. It's not my values, it's not how I raised, it's not who I am.
Now, a clearly shaken Brown. More bad news for him tonight. A joint statement from some of his key handlers, Andrew Boddington, Alikan Velshi, and Dan Robertson. Earlier today, all three of us became aware of allegations about Patrick Brown. After speaking with him, our advice was that he should resign as PC party leader. He did not accept that advice. Since our view is that this advice was in the best interest of the PC party, we have therefore resigned our positions as, respectively, campaign manager, chief of staff, and deputy campaign manager in charge of strategy. Now, Premier Kathleen Wynne not speaking tonight, but Andrea Horwath of the NDP did release this statement. My thoughts are with the brave young women who have spoken out to describe horrible, degrading, and unsafe experiences they say happened at the hands of Patrick Brown. I'm disgusted and disturbed by these sexual misconduct allegations. Patrick Brown must resign immediately. He deserves his day in court, but no person can lead a political party in this province with allegations like these hanging over his head. Joining us now, our political specialist, Cynthia Mulligan. Quite a night. You're never going to hear good news at 9:45 at night.
9:45, instantly everybody knew that it was pretty serious, and people instantly came to a conclusion that it was something along these lines, and I'll get into that more a little later. The question is, we have a provincial election 5 months from now. Patrick Brown was leading in the polls, in many of the polls, well above Kathleen Wynne. What does it mean next? So I was talking to political strategist Jim Warren, who has long worked within the Liberal circles. This is what he had to say tonight.
He'll be gone by end of day tomorrow. His staff have resigned en masse. That news conference was the worst possible news conference. He made himself look guilty. And so he would have been better off to sit at home and watch TV and come in tomorrow more distinguished. When he ran down those stairs and in his car, it makes him look like a convicted criminal.
What does this mean for the upcoming provincial election? Can the Conservatives possibly get it together?
Absolutely. I mean, campaigns matter. They have campaigns for a reason. So they'll have to relook now. There's a lot of other experienced veterans in their caucus. They'll have to elect a new leader. But let's face it, they're definitely going to be up against the wall. Anyone can win this race. Anything can happen in politics. So Liberals and NDP are happy, but they didn't win the next campaign tonight. But all bets are off. It's anyone's race to win.
But come on, Kathleen Wynne must be dancing tonight.
Win, but you're also going to see the NDP are going to be happy because there's going to be a lot of people or anyone but win, and the NDP think this will embolden themselves. But let's say there's some candidates in this race, some candidates. We saw the name Mulroney, we saw Rod Phillips. There's a lot of star candidates who could potentially step up here. So it's anyone's race to win. The Liberals are happy, the NDP are happy, but at the end of the day, this is a very bad story about some bad things that happened to some really unfortunate circumstances.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Now, Let's call it the way it is, though, too. Patrick Brown was not running a good campaign. He was not making a dent with voters. Women didn't like him, and nobody knew who he was.
And Kathleen Wynne has been coming up on the polls. She's doing all the right things. And so will they, I think the Liberals will focus now on their agenda. This will give them the opportunity. This is what they really need. It gives them an opportunity to focus on selling their story, as Conservatives now end up navel-gazing and have to look inside themselves. They're going to be fighting amongst themselves for the next leader instead of attacking Kathleen Wynne, and that's good news for the Liberals.
So you don't think this is going to be an easy ride now for Kathleen Wynne?
No, this is going to be a challenging race. She has to convince people that she needs another term. It doesn't really matter who she's running against. She's going to have to convince people to vote for her, not against these other people.
And in fact, it could be even tougher for Kathleen Wynne because the Conservatives might come up with a better candidate than Patrick Brown, who was not, doing well with voters, particularly female voters. Here's the other thing I want to say. This has been a dirty little open secret for years. Rumors circulating around Patrick Brown.
so many other situations.
We've known about them for a very long time. Allegations, only allegations. We have never been able to prove them. This is the first time people have actually come forward and put their name to these allegations. But it was an open secret, and I think that's why you see people jumping ship so quickly because they knew this was a possibility.
To quit today after giving that advice and saying we're done all his key handlers, now it makes you wonder, are there more people? What's next?
Well, sometimes more people come forward when these allegations surface. We'll have to wait and see for the coming days and weeks and months.
All right, so thanks very much. Thanks for chatting with Jim as well. Again, Patrick Brown, the leader of the Ontario PC, saying he will fight allegations of sexual misconduct in the court of law, and he is not resigning as their leader.